Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Alison, and in this video we're going to be looking at how eczema can affect adults, children and babies. Before I begin, remember to like, subscribe, share and comment. Hit that notification so you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you look below in the description, you'll see the three different guides. There's the eczema guide, the adult acne guide and the dry skin guide. Let's get started. I've said it before and I will say it again. Eczema doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you are young or old, doesn't care if you are male or female, doesn't care what colour skin you have, what race you have, what cultural background you come from. However, what is very outdated is when eczema is described in the medical books or by doctors even, it's always described as being a red rash. That is not the case on darker skin tones like my own. So I'm going to show you some various skin tones with eczema, so here we go. For those who suffer with eczema, like myself, we know that physically it's not life-threatening. However, it is very debilitating. It's frustrating because of the itch, the dryness, the sores and the infections it can cause. The fact that it comes back time and time again despite going back and forth to the doctors and despite getting creams, medicines, tablets, medications, all these different types of things that you can try. And the reason that's not working is because eczema is a symptom of a bigger issue. So you need to be looking at the root cause of what is your eczema and then also what your triggers are. So we're going to discuss what can be causing it in babies, children and adults. So first I'm going to say, obviously you know what eczema looks like. It looks sore, it looks itchy, it is itchy, it looks dry, it's inflamed and it can often get crusts on it and it can look infected. It might sound awful to those who don't suffer from it, but I can tell you right now, it plays havoc on your mental and physical health. It's a known fact amongst the experts that eczema has actually tripled in the last 20 years. So it's tripled in rates for adults, children and babies. And they put this down to one thing mainly. Number one, we know that genetics is a trigger for eczema, but also industrialization, changing our habits and our lifestyles, changing the air pollution, changing the things we use on our skin, a change in the things we put into our body, and just in general, there's so many different things. It's actually a multifactional actual disease. I wouldn't call it disease, but it is like a skin disease if you are somebody who actually who reacts or is affected by eczema. But regardless of what you want to class it as, it is annoying, it is frustrating, and it plays havoc on your mental health. Now, eczema isn't just one thing on its own. So atopic eczema can also be a part of a triad. So if you suffer with asthma, you're also more susceptible to eczema and also to allergies. So that's the three things there. And if you're susceptible to allergies, you're more than likely going to get hay fever as well. So as an example, my daughter is a person who might get mild eczema, and also as a younger child, she will suffer with asthma. My son suffers with hay fever and eczema. And for myself, it's a little bit of hay fever and allergens and also eczema. I also mentioned that I forgot to mention in fact that my son also has his allergies. He actually reacts to milk, all known animal milks, and sugar and grass and tree allergies. So there you have it. Going to look at babies first. Because you're probably wondering, how can someone so young, if it's like only a few months old or days old, how can it have eczema if it hasn't had all the different things like skin products and food, especially if it's breastfeeding or pollution in the air? Why is a baby getting eczema? So it can be one of several things. So the actual root cause of a baby could be, for example, if a baby is born by C-section, so it hasn't come through the mother's birth canal, it hasn't picked up the bacteria that it needs to help boost its immune system. If a baby has not been breastfed, can also the cow milk can cause allergies for the baby. Also, if it's not being breastfed, again, it's not picking up any good healthy bacteria, the bacteria it needs for its immune system. On top of that, if your baby is premature, it may not have had its gut get those words out, may not have formed properly or not formed enough, so you can have problems with its gut. Medication. So as an example, my son and my daughter needed antibiotics when they were both very, very young, still in hospital, only about between the first 3 weeks of their lives. And antibiotics are known to cause gut problems. But on top of that, medications in general, when you have medications for something specific, there are side effects to medication, so they can be triggers and also root causes for your baby's or children's eczema. Now, if you are breastfeeding, you need to be aware of what you are eating. So, for example, when you are pregnant, what you eat and put into your body, what you are drinking, things you put on your skin, obviously the body absorbs that. That can then obviously be taken in by the baby. But also once a baby is born and you are breastfeeding, you need to be aware of what you are eating. So if your baby is solely breastfeeding and still getting eczema, this means it's something that you're putting into your body, possibly even the skin products. So another thing to look at is products that you're using on your child. Even when things say baby friendly or child friendly or for babies, if it's got fragrance in there as an example, that can trigger off eczema. If it's got lots of chemical preservatives or chemical ingredients, that can also be a chemical trigger for eczema. Best thing to do is to have nothing for the first several months and then go completely natural. So as a child myself, my mother used olive oil on my skin. For my own children, I would use olive oil, coconut oil, hemp seed oil, avocado oil, all these different types of oils. I would blend them together. Now, it was only because my child was getting eczema that I stopped using natural things and switched to the stuff that the doctor gave me, which my son then reacted to. Now, this is because I didn't realise at the time that the antibiotics and being a C-section and being bottle fed all would contribute toward my children's eczema. Now, if like myself, you weren't able to breastfeed or you weren't able to give birth naturally, don't beat yourself up. None of us are perfect, and at the end of the day, it's still a massive learning curve, but there are things you can do for the children. As an example, your babies can have probiotics from a young age. Speak to your GP, your general practitioner, or your homeopath or naturopath. Little things like not using any kind of fragrance at all on a baby's skin. If you are breastfeeding, then please be aware of what you're putting into your body, both for eating and also what you're putting onto your skin. Not even using perfumes to spray on your skin. Be aware when your hair is touching your child, because again, what you use in your hair, the products can rub off onto your child's skin. Another few things that I made changes for was my son's bed linen, and then eventually my daughter and my bed linen made a massive difference. We just changed his bed linen from cotton or cotton synthetic mixes. We changed it to bamboo, completely natural, hypoallergenic, antibacterial. It's got all these fantastic attributes for using bamboo bed linen. Also kept him cool at night. Put that fan in the bedroom, keeping the room nice and cool helps. And also having the actual humidifier in the room, which helps the air to become more, have more water in there and less dry, which is caused by the central heating. This then moves us on to children, so older children, so anyone between the ages of like 3 onwards really. A lot of things that affect adults are going to affect children simply because we have introduced foods that we eat to them. So as an example, sometimes you might think a genetic cause maybe that you've had is the reason why your child has eczema, when it could simply be that you're all eating and drinking the same things as well. And it might possibly be the foods you're eating all at the same time, or the quality of the foods. As I mentioned in the previous video, the quality, for example, of meat. If you are not eating grass-fed meat, if you're eating meat from an animal that's been conventionally reared, you could be consuming antibiotics, which again can trigger off your eczema. I know in the state, the US, for example, they give their animals steroids. You could be eating all that kind of stuff, which again is triggering off your eczema. So children, for example, if they're eating processed foods with colour in it, with food dyes in there, with artificial sweeteners, with high sugars in there, inflammatory causing foods are going to trigger off your child's eczema. Also, when you think you're giving your child a treat by giving them some kind of sugar, again, as you know, sugar is another trigger for eczema. Now, again, I've mentioned about not getting seduced by marketing and buying products for children because it says specifically for children. You may have seen in the previous video that I mentioned natural, I'll get my words out here, natural sunscreen. Now, I've been seduced in the past where it said child-friendly sunscreen, but it still has a fragrance to it, like it smells like a tropical smell, and then my son reacted. Just because it says the words child friendly does not mean it's good for your child's skin. If it's a chemical sunscreen and you're using it on your child, you're going to more than likely break out in eczema, or if you have sensitive skin, so switch to a natural sunscreen. If you are using skincare products on their skin, you want to be using something with natural ingredients. For example, I created my own brand, Tigs, and in there my skincare has coconut oil, cocoa butter, shea butter, avocado oil, and olive oil. I don't use any synthetic oils or creams or waters on my children's skin anymore. And that also goes for using it on his face and in his hair as well, on his scalp. Now, again, I'm going to mention the fact that some children might start wearing makeup and just experimenting. Your makeup's going to have a lot of chemicals in there and lots of dyes and fragrances. And then also, even though might not be a massive topic for children get stressed. They get stressed from school, they get stressed from bullying, they get stressed from day-to-day lives, and stress can be a massive trigger for eczema as well. So look at all these different areas where you can swap certain things out. So I mentioned the bed linen, getting rid of the cotton polyester blends and bringing in bamboo. Not treating your children with sugar and lots of synthetic and sweets and chocolates and things like that. Getting good quality chocolate. Switching simply from giving them lots of sugary products to giving them, for example, a day out or a day trip somewhere, and just teaching them from a very young age what is good and what is bad for your gut, for your skin, and for your health. So all those things that I just mentioned for children are also going to be specific to adults as well. So looking at your bed linen, the state of your room, what's in your bedroom, Wi-Fi in your house. Again, it creates positive ions in the actual house, and that can trigger skin issues. Spraying artificial air fresheners in there, burning candles, all these little things that you think smell nice but they are synthetic can cause your eczema to become triggered. You've also got laundry detergents. Again, you're the one in charge of washing your laundry. Make sure you're using an environmentally friendly one, which is better for your skin. And if you choose to use a fabric conditioner, try and get one that's fragrance free. Or you can actually get the dryer balls, which you put in the dryer and it moves around and bangs into the clothes and softens the clothes itself. And look at using green cleaning products, and if you have your hands in water a lot, look at using gloves, another example there. And again, I've mentioned, don't be seduced by clever marketing. If something says organic on there, don't assume it's all 100% natural. Look on the back of the ingredients and see if you can actually understand what some of those are. Get your phone out to have a quick look before you purchase or before you buy something. And another thing, stress. We all get stressed, we're adults after all. Stress at work, stress at home, stress from your family. Look at ways of dealing with that. Now for myself, I'm not very good at slowing down. However, I looked online to have a look at breathing techniques, to look at starting and doing a little bit of yoga, and just ways to relax as well. Find what helps to relax you, because we're all different. What works for one might not necessarily work for another. So that just leads me really to say, there's so many different things that are out there that can be triggering your eczema. It's definitely worth doing that lifestyle journal. So as well as the food journal that I mentioned in previous videos, doing a lifestyle journal. So writing things down that you used on your skin and only introducing one new thing at a time. Because if you introduce more than one thing at a time and you do react, you're not going to know what you've reacted to unless you go and wait several weeks and then try that specific product again. So only ever use one new product at a time and give it at least 2 weeks before you introduce another. I've learned the hard way with that one. I don't want you guys going down the same road. So I think I've pretty much hit every major point for babies, children and adults. So all that leaves me to say now is, remember to like, subscribe, share, comment and hit that notification. Have a look down below to see the actual guides that I've written, the eczema guide, the dry skin guide and the adult acne guide. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.